Well, hi you beautiful New Zealanders. In today's video, this is part 2 in a series, so if you missed part 1, please go back and watch that. I'm providing a commentary of an interview between Margaret Mutu, Professor of Maori Studies at Auckland University, and Michael Laws on the radio station The Platform. So today, we're picking up from where we left off yesterday. So as I say, if you missed out on yesterday, go back and watch that, and then come and join us for part 2. Okay, thanks for watching. Enjoy.
There are a lot of Pākehā in this country who do understand that Māori invited everybody who's come in here to come. We invited them. That means, Michael, that we are responsible for them. Okay. And so we have to look after everybody who comes here.
So Margaret says that Maori invited everybody here, so they have a responsibility to look after everybody who is here. Well, what are we to make of that? Well, this carries on that we, Maori, are the hosts and you, everybody else, are the guests narrative. This just continues what they want to parrot away with their narrative. But what's the reality? Well, in 1840, as I have said, Maori were on their knees. They just lost between a third and half of the population through the Maori killing Maori in the Musket Wars. Infanticide was rife. Infanticide is killing baby girls. Maori only wanted baby boys so they could grow up to be warriors, so they killed all the baby girls. And this was the main reason that the Maori population declined between 1840 and 1900. And that's the fact. Cannibalism was rife, human sacrifice was in the mix. So yes, Maori invited the British here, but not for the reasons Margaret says. Maori invited the British here because Maori were out of control and on their knees. For 600 years they tried to get their act together, but found that it just was not in them to do it. So they were at the end of themselves. So the reality is they cried out to the British for help. They wanted the British, the Queen and the Governor, to be their parents. And often when you read the speeches of the chiefs in 1860 and in the treaty debates in 1840, they actually talked about the British being parents to them. They wanted parenting.
Now, all of our resources to be able to do that properly have all been stripped from us. So we can't do as good a job as we would like to do. But we would still like to be able to look after all of our manuhiri, that's the word we have for them, all of our manuhiri who come into this country. We are responsible for them. We are to look after them. We are to make sure that they are healthy, wealthy, prosperous.
Well, Margaret then says that Maori want to look after us. She calls us manuhiri, or guests. But Maori can't do this because all of their resources, that is their land, their water, their fisheries, their forests, their coastline, the geothermal, etc., she says, has been stripped from them. Well, what are we to make of this, honestly? Well, there's both trickery and deception here, meaning what? She wants all Kiwis who are listening to say, oh my goodness, Maori want to look after all of us, but they can't because we've stripped them of all their resources. So when they demand the water, the beaches, the rivers, all the resources, we should just give it to them. So what Margaret is doing is grooming the population to give Maori all the resources of the country. Then she says another remarkable thing. She says, we are, quote, we are to make sure all the guests are wealthy, healthy and prosperous. Well, what's the message she wants to groom all Kiwis with? She's trying to tell us, if you give all the resources of the country to Maori, we will make sure you are all healthy, wealthy and prosperous. Kiwis listening will then say, well, I'm not healthy, wealthy and prosperous at the moment. I guess this is because we have Pākehā running the country. You know what? I think we should give Maori back the country that they own, including all the resources, because if we do that, Margaret is saying that Maori will make me healthy, wealthy and prosperous. Well, what's wrong with that? What Margaret said is the most ridiculous parallel universe thing ever to be said. Why? Well, first Maori had all of New Zealand to themselves for 600 years. They had all the resources, every one. Yet, when the British discovered New Zealand, Maori were described as hunter-gatherers, as cavemen and women. They were a Stone Age people group who had not even invented the wheel or even shoes. So they proved that they couldn't even look after themselves for 600 years. Even when they had all the resources. Second, their resources were not stripped from them. That's all very dramatic. They sold 92% of their land after 1840 fair and square to the British. Well, this enabled the British to manage the resources of the country but basically as well when Maori ceded sovereignty. So the question is, between 1840 and 2025, who would have done a better job of managing the resources of the country, Maori or the British? Well, we've already answered that one because we saw what Maori did with all the resources for 600 years. They couldn't do a thing with them. Third, Maori today top the negative social statistics in every area. Suicide rates, unemployment, incarceration rates, family abuse, child abuse, animal cruelty, state dependency, and so on. And yet Margaret is saying, put us in charge, that's put Maori in charge, and we'll make everyone healthy, wealthy, and prosperous. Come on. They can't even make their own healthy, wealthy, and prosperous, even with massive government help in every area. So when I label Margaret as delusional, really this is a compliment. Really, she's living in a parallel universe, completely detached from reality, which also confirms the fact that she was a political appointment, not put there on ability in her position as Professor of Maori Studies.
Not at the cost of us being impoverished, marginalised and discriminated against.
Well, Margaret then says that Maori are not going to make everyone else healthy, wealthy and prosperous at the expense of making Maori impoverished, marginalised and discriminated against. That's what she said. Well, what are we to make of this statement? Michael should really have asked Margaret to give us some examples of just how Maori are being impoverished, marginalised and discriminated against. You know what? Because I can't think of one way in which Maori are being impoverished, marginalised and discriminated against. Not one. I can't think of any. In fact, when I think about that issue, I think the opposite is true. Maori are being treated as the first-class citizens of this country and everybody else is second-class. Yeah, that's the truth. Maori are the elite people in this country, getting all the perks and benefits while we just watch on. Just look at this little table. This will help us clarify what I'm talking about. Well, who has privilege in New Zealand? Look at the title at the top. Let's just go down the left-hand column. Maori have Maori-focused schools, special Maori content in the education curriculum, Maori-only scholarships, Maori-only housing projects, Maori-only health initiatives, Maori-only welfare initiatives, Maori-only prisoner programs, Maori-only positions in government agencies, Maori-only consultation rights under the Resource Management Act, Maori-only co-management of parks, rivers, lakes and coastline, Maori-only ownership of the foreshore and seabed, a special Maori authority tax rate at 17.5%, a special Maori-only exemption to allow blood relatives to qualify for charitable status, Maori language funding, Maori TV and radio, Maori-only seats on local councils, Maori-only appointments onto local government committees, Maori-only local government statutory boards, Maori-only local government advisory committees, Maori seats in Parliament. You know, look at the right-hand column. Privilege, this is all the rest of Kiwis. The privilege to pay for all the preferential treatments. We're paying for all of that. We're paying for all the preferential treatments in the left-hand column. That's what we're doing. So please tell me, how level does the playing field have to be for Maoris and their backers to stop claiming that they are disadvantaged? You see how I say that Margaret Mutu is delusional. See, when she makes these statements, and there's proof. There's absolute proof. She says Maori are impoverished, marginalised, and treated as racists. Oh my goodness. Come on, Margaret. Get with the party. Okay guys, that's enough for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Now we need your help with something. This is important. We have produced some great flyers and brochures which we want to get into the hands of all New Zealanders. So we need to go around the mainstream media. They're not going to help. In fact, they're making things a lot worse. So we have to go around them. And we need your help to make this happen. We can't do this without you. So what are we talking about? First, there is our business cards. They're only 3 cents each plus courier to get them to you. Then there is our latest booklet called The Psychology of Takeover, 19 strategies Maori activists are using to take over the country. It's 80 pages and packs a huge punch. So they're cheap, they're $3, and they're absolutely fantastic if you want to get a handle on what's actually happening in New Zealand. Then we have a few thousand of our original Stop Co-Governance booklets left over from my tour in 2000. 2023. Remember these? You'll remember we printed 550,000 of these. Well, these are now free because we realised that only about a third of New Zealand houses got this booklet last when I did my tour, and so we want to get to the other 2/3. So if you do a few streets around where you live, that would be absolutely phenomenal, and they are free now. Then we have our MACA, that's Marine and Coastal Act brochure 2, which alert people to the loss of our beaches. You know, we're in danger of losing all the beaches around New Zealand. The text is written by Graham Adams, who's a great author. These are now free. And then we have our beautiful bumper sticker, which we've just made. And why are we doing this? Well, New Zealand's identity is under threat. We know that. First activists have and are still trying to change the name of New Zealand to Aotearoa. We don't want that. We must oppose this. This is rubbish. Where's the referendum saying that we want to change the name of the country? There was none. It was just forced on us. Second, Maori sovereignty flags are appearing more and more all over the place, and they're just treason. So we've got to get these bumper stickers out. So we've printed some awesome bumper stickers. They're $3 each, and they measure 21.5 by 6.5, so you can see how big that would be on your car. To get any of these free products, all you need to do is pay for the courier to get them to you. For the products that cost something, like the bumper stickers or the little psychology booklet, it's the cost plus the courier to get them to you. So to order any of these products, just use this email address, cards@stopcogovernance.kiwi, and we'd love to hear from you. Finally, if you want to access all the videos we've ever made, including all our most viewed and most popular videos, and have them all in one place, which is what people are asking for, then just type in this address into your browser. There it is there, https www.youtube.com/@stopcogovernance, and you'll find it goes straight to our channel. Then what you do is save this address to your computer as a favorite. Job done. Well done. Then you've got them all in one place forever. And all the new ones that are coming in get placed into that address, so you won't miss anything. Okay, last thing, please, oh please, don't forget to subscribe. When you subscribe, you'll get the latest videos straight into your inbox. You'll never miss a video, which is great. You'll link up with like-minded people all over New Zealand, and that's very, very stimulating to have meet up with all these people who think like you. You'll be telling YouTube, I like these videos, and they will respond by advertising our videos to more Kiwis for free. It's incredible what they do, but it just relies on you replying to comments and making comments and liking things and sharing things and activity. That's what it is. It's just activity on our channel. And turning New Zealand around is simply a matter of reaching more Kiwis with the truth. So just click on the subscribe button on the bottom right hand side of your screen. There, the little yellow arrow is showing you where it is, and you'll be subscribed. Okay, see you next time. You guys are awesome.